Okay, so as I said in that ring tonight, I've been through hell and back to make it here today. I genuinely thought that regardless of the issues that I've been dealing with, I would be able to go in there and win. Use my boxing skills, use what you guys saw in that first fight to beat Conor Benn. From that first round, I realized that I was mistaken. But it's okay. You know, I'm a fighter. This is what I do. Regardless of, you know, the dangers and the risk, you know, we go to war. That's what we do. I tried my best. Conor Benn put on a hell of a fight. He had a great performance. He did everything that was asked of him, and I congratulate him for his performance tonight. I'm not going to answer too many questions, but you guys, go ahead.
Chris, you've got on two fantastic fights here at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium with over 60,000 people both times. Could you just talk about how great of a memory that's been for British boxing?
Yeah, that's not really something I'm talking about right now.
Chris, Radio Riot down in the front. Tomorrow, everyone was going to speculate about what was the issue tonight, why you weren't able to perform the way you did the first time. Would you like to address that yourself before we all give our own opinion?
No, this is not about me. This is about, this night's about Conor. He did what he needed to do to win. He fought a great fight, and I'm not here to talk about me. He's a tough man. He's a great fighter, and I respect him.
What did he do in the first round that made you know that you were mistaken?
You guys saw. You guys saw what I was in there tonight. I thought that, you know, once those bright lights hit and that round went and, you know, I was in there, that, you know, I'd find something. And I tried. I tried hard, but it wasn't there. And Conor was strong, and he was fast, and he was tough. And congratulations to him.
Last one from me. You sound like a man who might be done boxing. Is that something you're considering today?
We're not talking about that right now.
I think for me it was a matter of, when I said I beat myself that night, I really did feel like I beat myself. It wasn't the strategy, it wasn't the game plan. My head wasn't in the right place to fight. You know, they say a strong mind can carry a weak body, but a strong body can't carry a weak mind. And I looked strong. I looked very strong, but I was still broken. I had to fight for many reasons, for financial reasons, to be active, to give the public the fight. The public wouldn't have accepted any other fight. So I felt like I owed it to the public to have that fight. But was I ready? No, I can't say I was. But ultimately, I've gone in there and stayed disciplined and showed that I can box, the bigger man, without getting drawn into a fight, which is what he tried to do, and which we very easily could have done. When I hurt him in the first or the second and I threw a haymaker, it very easily could have gone that way. But I just had to keep my emotions at bay and stay disciplined in there.
Conor, a contrast of emotions. Only a few months ago, you were obviously very down after the first fight. You've been through a hell of a lot. Does tonight almost feel like light at the end of the tunnel? Like you just walk through that door and, you know, it's all worked out?
I feel like I'm going to go home and cry. I feel like I'm going to go home and cry, yeah. Because it's just... Oh, man, it's been hard. Facing my first loss, coming back from adversity. It's things you got to do. As a man, you go through things in life and you don't know why, but you just have to keep fighting. Staying in shape, staying in the gym, turning up when you really don't want to turn up. Facing your own demons every single day. You know, that's the hardest fight, really. You have to live in your head every single day. You know, getting in the ring for 36 minutes is no problem.
After the first fight, obviously in the first one you used a lot of emotion. How did you manage to channel that for the rematch? Because tonight you were very composed, you didn't smother your work, you used the jab effectively. How did you manage to switch back and almost take that emotion out of it to make sure you won?
It's the chip on my shoulder. People saying, "Oh, you can't box, you can't do this." It was like, "All right, cool, we'll watch then." Because ultimately, you say I can't do it. That's because you can't do it. I can do it because I'm set my mind to do it, and that was my fuel. I wake up in the morning and go, "Oh, what? People think I can't box, or people think I can't out boxing for 12 rounds. Watch me," and that was my fuel. Everyone has their chip on their shoulder that gets them going and gets them out of bed. That was mine for the camp.
Well, a remarkable 2 fights. The first fight, obviously different to the second fight, a fight where we needed to stay calm, fight with no emotion, follow the game plan. I thought Conor Benn was just sensational tonight, a mature performance, and just a massive victory, stepping up 2 divisions, fighting a middleweight, and I guess becoming the first Ben to beat a Eubank night. Sorry, mate. And he did that out of the ring, and tonight was a culmination of all the hard work of a young man that we saw make his professional debut at the O2, who was all over the place. A guy that honestly I didn't believe would win an area title. He's just filled Tottenham Hotspur Stadium twice. He's secured his family and his children's financial legacy forever, and now we're going to move on and make a true legacy in the sport to win a world title. So I wanted to say we're very proud of Conor Benn and everything he's done. He's an inspiration to people to show you there's always a way back.
You know what, it's just one of those things. I knew Conor would win. I actually thought Conor would have stopped him, and it's only when Conor caught him in the 12th round. Because he was slipping a lot of the punches, and Conor never really caught him flush until the 12th round.
Very unfortunate not to get the stoppage.
Yeah.
I suppose if it had gone on another 20 seconds, then he would have, or 15 seconds.
Yeah, but we'll take the win. Even the score, we don't want a third match. Don't need to. Glad this saga's over with. Glad it's all over with.
It didn't surprise you how comfortable it was in the end for Conor?
No, it didn't surprise me at all. I thought Conor actually had him betting between round 1 to 3 and 3 to 6. I thought if Conor caught him early, because he never caught him until late, and when he hurt him, you can see that he hurt him, and Conor was still fresh at 12 rounds.
But this is where the whole Eubank and Benn saga ends tonight.
Yeah, it ends tonight. I'll be honest with you, he tried to shake my hand, but I pushed him away. I said no.
Who did?
I did. Pushed him away.
Junior?
No, senior.
Senior.
Yeah. He always plays this game and all that, attention seeker, and I just got sick and tired of it. Because I went to embrace him at the weigh-in, and he done that to me. And I thought, mate, I felt like throttling him. I thought to myself, mate, I'm not even going to bother talking to you no more, mate. It was so disrespectful, and I was like, you know what? Give me a cuddle, and that's it. But carry on. I won't talk to him again, mate. He's a waste of space. I'm sorry to say, mate. It's just hard work. He's always like this attention seeking, and everything about him just like rubs people up the wrong way.
Love what you do. It's just easier. Favourite bit about camp: pushing your body to the limits, breaking records, breaking PBs, the nitty gritty, getting up how hard it is. I just love all that. Chasing them 1%. We're done talking now, so I can actually work out. So I can get that 1%.
All right, let's go. There we go. Give me 2. Go, 1 go. There we go. 2 go. There we go.
Yeah, training camp's tough. Training camps are, a lot of the time, camps are harder than the actual fight because it's weeks and months and days and days and days of continuous pain and struggle and You got to push as hard as you can.
Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn are ready to face off in one of the most intense rematches in boxing history. Their heated face-off at the press conference and final words before fight night set the stage for an epic battle. To begin with, Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn had a very heated face-off at the press conference before the fight, and both fighters talked strongly. Benn told Eubank, "You fight like a fairy," and said this would be his last fight at 160 pounds. He explained that after this match, he plans to drop back down to 147, where he feels most comfortable. Benn also said he wants big fights at that weight, like facing Luke Ryan and even fighting for a world title. The tension between the two fighters showed how serious and personal this rematch has become.
You got beat up by a welterweight. Has any other middleweight done that to you?
You caught me with a few good shots. I
know. I saw your legs buckle.
There was
And
no
so did
way that the
everybody else.
beating I took was anywhere close to what you took.
I was completely fine though.
Yeah, all
Punched
right.
like a fairy.
You looked fine.
You punched like a fairy. For a middleweight, you punched like a fairy. Wait till I drop back down to 147.
Okay, well then you don't have anything to worry about in a couple of days.
This is my last fight up at 160.
Yeah.
Hope everybody enjoys. I will be dropping back down to 147 to challenge the Barrioses, the Ryan Garcias, the Rolly Romeros, the Devin Haney's, the Normans. I'll drop back down and pursue my career to win a world title. I'm glad I could give you guys this fantasy fight and me showing a pair of bollocks to jump up 2 weights to fight you.
Next, Chris Eubank Jr. gave his final words before fight night and said he is ready to do anything to make sure the Eubank name stays stronger than the Benn name. He said he wants the history books to show that the Eubanks will always be better than the Benns. Eubank Jr. promised that this time he will come out as the winner and end the rivalry here. He predicted that the fight would be just as wild, hard, and exciting as their first battle. His final message was clear. He will win by any means necessary, and he believes this fight will be remembered in history with a Chris Eubank Jr. victory.
The Eubank name stays superior to the Benn name in each and every way, and we make it so that the history books write that the Eubanks will always be better than the Benns.
This time round, we come out victorious. This ends here.
I predict that the fight will be just as beautifully savage and exciting to watch as the first.
My prediction, win by any means necessary.
It's going to be a fight that's going to go down in history again, and I predict a Chris Eubank Jr. win.
However, Conor Benn said that his opponent has many weaknesses, but he is not focused on what Eubank did in the fight. Instead, he looks at his own mistakes and how he feels he let himself down in the ring.
I exploited them and I will exploit them again.
There's plenty of weaknesses. I don't look at what he done. I look at what I done in the ring and how I let myself down inside the ring.
Moreover, Benn explained that winning on Saturday will mean a lot to him, his father, and his whole team. He said this family feud has gone on long enough, and now it must be settled. To him, this is the finale, the ending, and there will be no more after this.
April.
When I get that win on Saturday, it'll mean a lot to me, my dad, my team. Ultimately, the family feud needs to be settled. This is the finale. This is the end. There's no more.
In addition, Derek Chisora talked about the fight and said that Conor Benn has to listen to his team if he wants to win. He explained that to beat Chris Eubank Jr., Benn must go to a place in the fight he has never been before because Chris already knows how to handle it. Chisora also shared that Chris had coronavirus a few weeks before, but he still trained hard and came into the ring ready, which was unbelievable. He added that in the first fight, Conor did not follow his trainer's advice and threw punches everywhere, even from unusual positions. Now, Chisora said, Benn has a second chance to get it right and make improvements for the rematch.
And to win this fight, Conor has to go somewhere he's never been. Because Chris has been there, and Chris knows how to get there. You know, one thing what Chris is not saying is that a couple of weeks before that, Chris had corona, you know. And I phoned his manager and listen, how's sparring? He goes, oh, sparring is great. I'm going to invite you to come and watch you. I'm like, okay. He never called me. I'm like, what's going on? He goes, oh, nah. I'm like, one more. And then some of my friends just go sparring. I'm like, what's this I'm here? He goes, don't worry about that. You know. So a guy who was sick and then come in the ring and do that, fucking unbelievable.
Meanwhile, Eddie Hearn, the British boxing promoter, talked about the big rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn. He said he is not feeling nervous at all as fight week begins. Instead, he is excited for the match on November 15th. Hearn explained that he has full confidence in Conor Benn after watching his whole training camp. He believes Benn looks strong, both in his body and his mind, and the team is ready for the test ahead.
I mean, the click is, I guess, the last intense spar, which was Saturday. After that, all right, camp is done. Now we just got to make the weight.
Mind games. Conor has admitted that you got in his head. Are you setting any traps that you're hoping Conor might fall into again?
If I am, I'm not telling anybody about it.
Do you think he's trying to play any games by being nicer?
Yeah, he's playing himself. People know who he is and what he's about. People see through the act.
Furthermore, Hearn also said that even though Eubank has shown great toughness and experience, Benn will fight in a smarter way this time. He expects Benn to bring the same fire and pressure as before, but with a better plan. According to Hearn, Benn has trained very hard and has not skipped any part of his preparation. He thinks Benn is focused on showing a sharp and disciplined performance. Hearn believes the changes in Benn's training will help him a lot on fight night.
He's not a nice guy. He's not a calm guy. He doesn't like me. It's all a facade. It's all a defense mechanism. And it's not working for him.
We've just had the first face-off. Conor looked away first. Do you take anything from that?
He's looked away first every time we've ever looked at each other.
Also, he added that Benn should look much better than he did in their first fight, both mentally and physically. Hearn feels that Eubank might be showing some signs of the tough battles he has already been in, but he says Benn is locked in and ready to give an excellent performance. He believes Benn's hard work and strong mindset will make the rematch exciting to watch. Hearn expects another close and action-packed fight.
He's not a nice guy. He's not a calm guy. He doesn't like me. It's all a facade. It's all a defense mechanism. And it's not working for him.
We've just had the first face-off. Conor looked away first. Do you take anything from that?
He's looked away first every time we've ever looked at each other.
Meanwhile, Frank Smith reacted to the weigh-in and said both fighters looked in great shape. He shared that Conor Benn weighed 159.3 pounds and Chris Eubank Jr. weighed 159.1 pounds. He joked that Conor was upset because he didn't win another Rolls-Royce this time. Frank was asked if Eubank made a statement by coming in so light, and he explained that Eubank has always been comfortable at 160 pounds. He said this has always been Eubank's natural weight and the weight he wants to fight at, even for world titles. Frank added that making weight does get harder as a fighter gets older, but for Eubank, 160 has never really been a problem.
Not really. They both looked in great shape. I think Conor was 159.3, Chris was 159.1. Conor is distraught. He doesn't get another Rolls Royce.
Yeah. Do you think Eubank made a statement there coming in that light?
I've always said I don't think the weight, the 160 weight, hence why they've always made the push that that's his natural weight, that's the fights he wants are all at 160, Adames, Janabek, Lara for world titles. I don't think 160's ever been a problem for him. Don't get me wrong, it gets harder as he gets older, of course it does, but that is his natural weight.
From the prediction standpoint, Johnny Nelson is firmly predicting a revenge victory for Conor Benn. While he expected another amazing performance from both men under the same contractual conditions, he believed Benn had more left in the tank after their first fight. Nelson's key advice is for Benn to find the perfect balance. He must carry the same eye of the tiger and emotional desire to win, but channel it into a more calculated and controlled performance. This crucial adjustment, in Nelson's view, is the deciding factor that will lead to revenge rather than a repeat.
Last one, Eubank Ben, can they live up to the fight? First one, wins the rematch.
Without a doubt, I think this fight will get as much excitement and attention as the last fight did. I think Conor Benn gets revenge. I think Chris Eubank Jr. did an amazing job, but he left it all in the ring. There was nothing left.
I think if Junior loses, like you predict, he retires.
No, I think they'll do it again. Too much money involved.
Bomac made it clear that their focus is not on chasing a knockout. He called that approach stupid because it sets a fighter up for failure if the knockout doesn't come. Instead, their entire game plan is built on one thing: securing the win by any means necessary. However, he finished with a confident warning. If the opportunity for a stoppage does present itself, his fighter will absolutely be in the condition to seize it and finish the job.
Has the focus been making sure this fight doesn't go 12 rounds like the first one?
No, hell no. I don't never focus on trying to get a knockout. No, that's stupid. Because what if you don't? You be focused on making sure that you get that win. If the knockout is there, like I always say, you're going to be in shape to go get it. Ain't no tiring out after 20 punches, no.
Bomac's approach is built on a detailed study of the first fight. He has broken down every mistake from both Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn, identifying clear areas for improvement and opportunities to capitalize. His philosophy is simple: when you get hit in a real fight, you revert to your habits. So they have worked for months to instill new correct habits. Bomac's final demand to his fighter is modest. If Eubank can deliver just 10% of what they perfected in the gym during the actual fight, that will be enough for Bomac to be satisfied.
Just look at all the mistakes, man. Just look at all the mistakes. What Chris did, what Conor did, where you can improve Chris at, where you can capitalize off of Conor. Because once you get punched in the mouth, you can go back to doing what you're doing. But if you work on it day in and day out for months and months at a time, you give me 10% on what we worked on in the gym, I'll be satisfied with that.
Just 10%?
10%.
Similarly, Tony Bellew also predicted that Conor Benn will win the rematch by points, avenging his first fight loss. He acknowledged that Chris Eubank Jr.'s power is a real threat and can benefit him, but insists it won't be enough to keep Benn away or stop him. Bellew's key argument is that Benn has learned from their first encounter. He will use that experience to manage his pace smarter, ensuring he doesn't fatigue in the later rounds, which will be the decisive factor in securing a points victory.
Who wins in the rematch, Eubank Jr. or Benn?
Conor Benn learns from the first fight and he wins on points on Saturday night.
So you don't think Bomac's going to benefit Chris in any way?
I do think he'll benefit him.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean he can still stop. We can't keep Conor Benn off. But Conor Benn this time will use the experience that he gained from the first fight and he'll pace the fight better. So he won't die in rounds 10 and 11.
Finally, British super middleweight boxer Zach Parker shared his thoughts on the rematch and said he thinks Chris Eubank Jr. will stay calmer this time. Parker believes Eubank will fight in a smarter and more controlled way by using his boxing skills instead of getting into wild punches. He even thinks that this careful style could help Eubank win by a late stoppage. Parker feels Eubank has a good chance if he sticks to a smart plan.
I think Eubank will do a better job than he did last. I feel like he just thought, oh, he can't hurt me, so I'm just going to have a brawl with him, but I feel like he'll box him this time and maybe take him out towards late rounds.
But former pro fighter Paul Smith does not agree with that view. He does not think Eubank can really change his fighting style at this stage of his career. Smith also pointed out that Benn, who is a natural welterweight, was still able to hurt Eubank in their first fight. He believes that this memory will give Benn even more confidence. Now Smith thinks that Benn's confidence will make him an even bigger danger in the rematch.
So I can't really go back and say now all of a sudden because of Bomac he's magically going to improve. He will improve, but I think the shot resistance when Conor Benn, who was a welterweight, was hurting him in the last fight. I think with the added confidence of Conor Benn knowing he can hurt in this fight with another crack at it.
Down to making the weight though, how badly he got it wrong.
I don't think he got it badly wrong, no. This is my point. He just turned up a little bit late.
The rematch between Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn is shaping up to be an unforgettable fight. Both fighters are ready, focused, and determined, and the tension is higher than ever. Fans are in for an exciting battle, full of skill, strategy, and heart. No matter who wins, this fight will be remembered in boxing history. If you enjoyed this breakdown and want more fight updates, predictions, and behind-the-scenes stories, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you never miss a video. Comment below who you think will win the rematch.